Do you go through life nervous about your spending and where you're spending your money? Well, in this video, I want to talk to you about how to approach your spending with the right mindset. Let's go. So, I've spoken before in my videos, especially this one, how you should aim to shift your identity to a new state. A state that is physically, emotionally and spiritually a level above where you are right now. An identity essentially where you're constantly growing and open to the growth process. And this new version of you should not be fearful of loss or spending money, but living in abundance. Now, I'm not saying spend recklessly or not to be mindful of your finances, but what I'm saying is to be aware of the thoughts you're having, both when you buy something and also when you choose not to buy something. When you're about to buy something, just ask yourself, is it 1, necessary, 2, would I enjoy or get pleasure out of it, and 3, can this thing serve me in the future, can it benefit me in the future? Something that is necessary or basic item could be like bread and milk, stuff that you need to survive. Something that you would enjoy might be a cup of coffee or going to the movies to see a movie. And something that can benefit you in the future might be an investment, for example, a course, investment in a property. In other words, we're talking about an asset. But what I really want to talk to you about is that moment when you don't buy something, when you choose not to buy something. What story do you tell yourself? Is it because the reason you didn't buy it is because that thing doesn't address the things I mentioned earlier about necessity, enjoyment and benefit? Or do you stop yourself because you tell yourself, I can't afford it? If you're telling yourself that, you're most likely coming from a place of scarcity. Now, this is quite common and so many of us have this subconscious programming of scarcity and lack. Oh, I can't afford to buy X, Y and Z, or I can't afford a personal trainer, or I can't afford that course, not right now. And this feeling of scarcity comes from many external influences. It may have come from your parents or from your culture or just not having a lot of money when you were growing up. Whatever the source is for your feelings of scarcity, it is important that you don't let that scarcity overrule your beliefs and actions. Now, this is important because the more you vibrate at a frequency of scarcity, the more you move into that space. Kind of a space or lifeline where that scarcity becomes the norm in your life. The more your mind says, I can't afford it, the more you start attracting scarcity. And then your salary doesn't go up, and then your bills and outgoings start increasing. And then you cut back on the important things in life that give you the benefit. Why? Because you're fearful of loss and now you're holding tightly onto money. Once you start going with the flow of life and not placing too much importance or energy on things like bills and finances, then naturally you can start shifting away from scarcity and towards a place of abundance. And this is where you want to be. I too had a scarcity mindset when I was growing up. This was because my parents didn't have a lot of money and they used to always preach that we should be saving money and not spending foolishly on unnecessary things. And they had a point to an extent, but even today my dad is still very careful with his spending, to the point that he doesn't really spend anything on himself. He doesn't enjoy himself and go with the flow of life. Now, I mention the word flow because it's really important, because essentially money is basically energy. And in order to keep abundance in your life, you have to keep that energy flowing. Now, you do this by both spending and being open to receiving. This ensures that there's a flow of energy between you and the material world. If you save too much, for example, you're not creating an outgoing flow. You're holding energy, so creating abundance becomes very difficult. And then, however, if you spend carelessly and on the wrong things, then you're putting energy in the wrong things. Now, as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that you should not hold back on when it comes to spending is spending on an asset, an income producing asset or something that can grow you. Now, an asset, like I said, could be property, could be training, could be coaching, investing in mentors, for example. And maybe like me, you want to build a business and create an income stream outside of your job. But ask yourself, why do you want this so bad? Now, if your reason is because you hate your job and you want to leave it, you're focusing on what you don't want, and that's essentially a scarcity mindset. because whatever you put your energy on, whether it's good or bad, you'll get more of it. So if you focus too much on the fact that you hate your job and you hate your boss, then you'll stay in a job for longer. Your boss will be around you longer. Instead, focus on what you desire and why you want it. So essentially, this is called getting clarity and becoming clear on what you want and why you want it as well. Put your attention on that. Then you're moving away from a scarcity mindset to focusing more on abundance. You're focusing more on the life of your future self. Now, Dr. Joe Dispenza always says, what you appreciate, appreciates. So watch your thoughts and be careful that don't pull you back into a scarcity mindset. With that, I conclude this video, but remember the key takeaways. Spend money on things that you need, things that you enjoy, and things that bring benefit to your life. Go with the flow of life. Don't be too scared to spend money, as money is energy, and spending frees you up from the energy of scarcity. And when you receive something nice or you buy something really expensive, feel worthy of it. Feel like, yes, I am fitting of this shirt or suit. Yes, I am worthy to be in this expensive restaurant, whatever it may be. And finally, be clear on what it is that you want. Don't focus too much on what you don't want. In other words, those things that are associated with scarcity and feeling poor. So thanks for watching, guys, and please let me know in your comments below, and also like, subscribe and hit the bell. Till next time.